Number 6, use pattern interrupts. Clients these days are pretty savvy, and customers are used to particular patterns or routines or stages that most salespeople go through. They look out for patterns in speech or in process, and they assess quickly whether it's a good pattern for them or a bad pattern for them. And there's so many ways to put in a pattern interrupt. Sometimes it can be from just standing out in terms of the quality of your delivery, the quality of your email, but more often than not, it's actually the things that you say or the things that you write that will break the pattern and be different from the average person in your industry. An example I'll give will be from outbound calling. And if you resort to the likes of, "Hi, it's Colin Campbell. I want to speak to you about X. Can we have a meeting?" You will get the results that standard approach reflects. So some of the popular ones that are got quite famous in terms of outbound calling were made famous by a guy called Benjamin Dennehy, who I've had on the show, the UK's most hated sales trainer. And he opens with the likes of, "If I told you this was a cold call, would you hang up now?" Or he'll do something like, "Hi," whatever their name is, "this is a cold call. Do you want to give me 30 seconds to explain why I'm in touch, or hang up now?" Now that is a good pattern interrupt because most people are trying to hide the fact that it's a cold call until, of course, it gets brutally exposed. I'm more nuanced than that. I'm going to give you 4 just now that I actually shared on LinkedIn recently. The first one, I'll say something like, "Out of curiosity, how are you currently approaching?" And then you insert a common problem within their industry. So for my sector for a long time, it would be, "Out of curiosity, how are you currently approaching ordering your furniture for this summer turnaround between your tenants leaving and the students coming back in September?" Second one can be, "You're probably going to tell me you've got no issue at all with," and then insert a common problem for your customer base. "Is that the case for," and insert the company name. So if I was to bring that to life, it could be something like, "You're probably going to tell me you have no issue with the supply chain getting furniture from the Far East. Is that the case for University of Leeds?" Third one, "Many companies I speak to are focused on challenge that they typically get in their area. Others are more concerned about," and then you put in a second challenge, and then you give them an option choice, which is, which one is more relevant to you at the moment? So if I was prospecting for my sales coaching business, I might say, "Many companies I speak to are focused on getting new leads. Others are more concerned about converting the leads they have. Which one is more relevant to you at the moment?" And then I've given them a choice to tell me what they care about and what they're focused on. The last one I'll give you just now is, "Would it be fair to assume you've already looked at ways to solve and insert their problem?" Quite often, if you're speaking to somebody really senior, they will be well aware of problems within their process that they want to work on, or something that they've had a challenge with in the past, because people would say that shit rolls downhill, but in a business and an organization, shit goes up the way to the CEO or the exec or people that own the business to deal with. So when you ask them, "Would it be fair to assume you've already looked at ways to solve," and then you talk about a problem that you know that they have, they will probably tell you ways they've looked at it before. If they've solved it, it'll be a very quick conversation. You'll get popped off the phone. If they've not and it remains a pain point, then you know there's a chance for you to say, "I'd love to tell you more about how we can solve that problem for you. In fact, I've solved it for a very similar business," and then you insert a case study, and then you offer them a date to meet. If you have pattern interrupts in your conversations, in your emails, in your presentations, and you stand out from the crowd, you will get extraordinary results. Almost nobody I've worked with has done £1.7 million in revenue. So I had to do something different to do that. So I had pattern interrupts. I had different ways that I did my proposals. I had different ways that I communicate with clients. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. So for me, using pattern interrupts, trying to stand out, trying to be a little bit different has been so valuable, and I would strongly recommend you do the same. I think one of the lessons that I had to finish the show last year was disregard norms, stand out. I really encourage you to do that. One of the first times I did that was I was sending videos during the pandemic when we were all locked down on LinkedIn to CEOs, finance directors, and managing directors. And so many of them were so receptive to that because no other insurance broker was doing that. So in the same way, use a pattern interrupt, try and stand out. If it's becoming really common now for people to send long, at-length voice notes on LinkedIn, don't go and do that, but do something different to break the pattern, break what somebody's expecting, because customers are savvy now. They've been around the block, they've been prospected lots and lots, especially if it's a desirable client. You need to stand out.
I hope you enjoyed that clip. For more on my channel, hit the link just here, subscribe, and you can enjoy the full episode.